Okay, we're on. This is our reflection number 6 that I've seen. I've done these weekly reflections pretty much every week throughout the whole year. And we're coming to a clip close of the year. This is week 47 out of 52. This is fucking crazy. This is insane. I remember when I started this out with my self development group, my boys. We've just made insane strides within all of our improvement because we stick to doing a weekly reflection and checking up on ourselves, whether we do it as a group or individually, and then share what we found, the good and the bad throughout the week, so we can really realign every time. And for me, especially having the special framework are the areas of life I use it to understand, organize, and optimize every area of my life. And having this as a bird's eye view on how my life is going in general really has helped me, and having it all in one app has really helped me understand where I'm putting my effort in life, and if that is an area that I actually want to improve and want to put effort into, um, and have other areas of my life where I'm either taking away from, but usually it's more like keeping them on maintenance. So I guess just quickly, the areas of life of special are strength, physical health, persistence, which are habits and possessions, experience, which is hobbies and activities, hanging out with your friends who are outer circle friends, creativity, explanatory, creative expressions. We've got contribution, which is work and charity. We've got intelligence, which is learning and finance. And you've got attachments, which are your close relationships. And finally, life force, which is mental health and spirituality. So these are the 8 areas. There are 4 essential areas, and there are 4 elevating areas. I've got more information on that in depth on my Instagram at Life Game Design, where you can click these to really get the gist of what the philosophy of life game design is about. But anyways, it's about intentionally creating a fulfilling life for yourself with the same techniques that game designers create games that are fulfilling for people. And that's pretty much why they get addicted all the time. And that's why I certainly got addicted to games before I started my self development journey, because I used it as an escape because it was the most fulfilling thing in my life. Games made me feel so fulfilled that I would turn away from everything else in my life, like my training, and my meditation and journaling, because I didn't design my life to be fulfilling in the first place. And as soon as I spent time designing my life to be fulfilling, I didn't have to escape by going to video games to do that. Um, and so for me, one of the parts that makes life fulfilling for me is just going back through the week, because whenever I used to ask my coworkers what happened in the weekend, or like what did you do last week kind of thing, they would really freeze and not understand, not understand, or not remember what they did. And it's because no one ever told us to take the time out of our day to really reflect on all the things we've done. And I think whenever I've had imposter syndrome in my life, it's because I never stopped to reflect about this achievements that I've made previously that contribute to the new challenge that I'm tackling. So I've got a weekly reflection template over here. Uh, and yeah, I just go through them within the special framework in my Notion app that's also called Life Game Design. And so I go through my projects, tasks, and notes that I've captured throughout the week, just so I can see like what's been up. And it really gives me a very holistic view on everything that I've done. So the big stuff, the small stuff, and the things that I'm keeping in account of. So yeah, I'm just gonna start left to right, and we'll just enter it in as we see it. So one thing I do, because I have the table down below, I've got these projects here, and I can just copy the link to this project, um, and then just enter it here as I see it. So yeah, honestly, the biggest the biggest bottleneck last week was not having my ultra wide monitor. I'm recording on that now, so it's really handy for the YouTube setup because I can have my mic here, camera, ultrawide monitor, and I'm actually doing the stream on my laptop, casting to my PC. But just in terms of things like editing on Canva, video editing, script writing, it's just so much easier for me to do on the ultrawide. So I'm so glad I got it fixed because I've gone through, I think, 3 ultrawide monitors in the last year because I'm just fucking clumsy. I have just broken them with like really dumb things. But that's alright, that's alright. We got the warranty. PB Tech hooked it up, so I was really happy that that happened. So this is not something that a lot of people talk about. This is the area I call persistence. Like we said before, it's about habits and possessions and things like that. So persistence is an elevating area in which whenever you focus on persistence, it's about elevating the other areas of your life. Obviously, if I buy an ultra-wide monitor, I can elevate the area of creativity for myself because I have a lot more space and resources to be able to do something like video editing. So it doesn't have to be something as extreme as buying an ultra-wide monitor. There's a lot of small improvements that are kind of proposed of in Atomic Habits that can help us get those gains in persistence to elevate all the other areas of our life. And one of the biggest things that separates life game design from all the other productivity Notion templates is that there is so much more to you and your life than just your productivity. These productivity apps are all built on business productivity and strategy. And business productivity and strategy doesn't account for things like burnout. It doesn't account for humans because businesses know that they can get the most productivity and efficiency out of their workers without having to care about the sustainability of their lives. And so this is why when I developed this with game design in mind, I knew that in order for me to keep on going with the system, I need to find enjoyment in using it, not just productivity, because there's no other Notion template that will encourage you and give you a section to put all of your things like memories in. So that was a key feature that was missing for me, and that's literally why I had to make this for myself. So yeah, a huge one for me was watching the last episode of Attack on Titan. I came really late to the party just because I was making so much progress within developing the app, life game design and stuff. So I didn't set time for myself to watch it, but I finally gave myself a break to be able to watch it. I think it was like an hour and a half long, just like any movie you'd watch. And man, it was insane just having the closure of a series that's been going on for a whole decade. I remember watching it in high school in 2013. Now it's come to a close in 2020, and it's just, man, I wasn't too impressed with the ending, but I just appreciated a work of art that's had so much effort put into it and such an amazing community behind it and such an impactful story as well. The next thing that I finished, a big highlight in terms of intelligence, which is learning and finance for me, is reading The Creative Act by Rick Rubin. So I've created a whole bunch of cornerstone books for all of these different areas of life. And the cornerstone books are a set of 2 to 5 books that teach you everything that you would need in a macro lens to be able to understand what special is about, what the specific areas of life can teach you. And so for creativity, the Creative Act very obviously is fitting in with learning about creativity, and his book is just amazing. He really he does give you practical tools and protocols to action the advice that he gives, but at the same time, he's very philosophical and he's an amazing storyteller in how he portrays what being a creative is, but also what the nature of creativity is in itself as a form of expression of simple human nature. It's there's some insane quotes. I've got to go through the book and take some notes on it, but absolutely captivated me. I'm definitely going to read it through again on my spare time when I get the chance. The other thing was completing my marketing plan for LGD. So I had no idea how I was gonna get this. Wait, why did I put the other one in thing? Let me fix that. I should have put the creative act in intelligence. So for the marketing plan, I had no idea how I'm actually going to bring this template of life game design for other people to use and how I'm going to show people how it works, how I'm going to explain all the different things you would need to know about the philosophy of life game design, how the special framework works, how my app works, all in combination. And I finally, yeah, pretty much got that done when I made these posts on my Instagram page. So these are like the three pillars of what you would need to understand in order to make use of, yeah, the philosophy and the actionable framework of life game design. So getting that done was like a huge weight on my chest because I had all the ideas and knowledge in my head and I just couldn't focus it into something very succinct like I just did with that marketing plan. So it was really nice. Derek, oh, why did it skip? The next one is attachment. So attachment is all your close relationships. So this is all combining things like your family, romance, your inner circle friends, and companion animals. And my best friend, Derek, who's in Japan, just had his birthday. And I was really sad that, I couldn't be there with him. So I made him a collage of all the photos that we've had throughout the years. And it was like, this one was from 20... Let's view the original image if we can. Where did I put it? It's easier to see from here. Let me zoom in. There we go. So this is like it's kind of hard to see, but it's a super cringe photo of us from like 2014. But since then, I've got 2019 when he was here, 2020, 2022, and since then we've been like doing the video chats, which is this one here. And it really taught me, especially about friendship in general, when I think around the middle of the year, we just stopped talking a lot because I never put in the effort to actually like reach out to him and be like, yo, let's jump in a call and catch up, because we can always make the excuse that lives are too busy, and we can't link up the time between, I'm in New Zealand, he's in Japan, so it's really easy to make all of these reasons why we can't do a certain thing. But I used to think friendship was supposed to be something that's very effortless, but now I know that both friendship and love is something that you need to put work into. You need to it's so awkward that we need to schedule in a call together, but at the same time it's so necessary. Otherwise, like before, we just wouldn't connect that much, and I actually felt kind of sad because of it, because otherwise we wouldn't have that much time together. But at the same, so yeah, actually just scheduling in time to call with him and other people in my life as well has just like had an amazing benefit, because he's someone that I get so much energy from. So whenever I get in a call with him, even though we're like not in the same room, I just light up. I just light up and have such a good time. And yeah, we both give each other energy. So whenever I talk to him, I get pumped for all the projects that I'm working on, and I can't wait to tell him for the next session as well. You can see how I'm just like I just got really happy just talking about it. So yeah, I was really happy to give him that collage and write him a really meaningful birthday message on his to him personally and also his Facebook wall. The other thing I read this week was Essentialism by Greg McKeown. An amazing book, and it's a point that I've been looking at for quite a while because essentialism is about getting rid of all the unnecessary things in life, but at the same time, it's about understanding what balance looks like in life. And I've got a diagram here that really states it perfectly, and especially in regards to special. So if we look at all the different areas of special in general, how this applies to essentialism is that we pick different seasons of our lives. And so every time, let me get rid of this. And so there's that photo of the book of essentialism that's over here that kind of relates to this. So when I think of not focusing properly is actually trying to do everything at once. And the way that I think about it is that if I try to improve everything at once within the special system, I'm actually not going to improve much at all. So this is me trying to focus on all areas at once. This is the level of improvement that I get from that. And this is the kind of baseline that I get from those improvements, because you start at like a certain default, and when you put energy towards improving something, like any habit or skill, it kind of becomes natural to you. And the level of skill that's your baseline improves. So on the other hand, if we apply a principle like essentialism, that looks like this, in which you choose a few different areas like this. Everything else gets left on maintenance, which is extremely easy. But you just channel all your focus into 1 to 3 areas. The more areas that you channel your focus into, the less gain you can actually make within all of those areas. And I found that so much, especially within me focusing on creativity, focusing on intelligence, and focusing on strength for the last 6 months. And everything else has been put on maintenance for me. Things like buying the optimization and maintenance of my routines, the things like hobbies like gaming and anime. The only time I kind of have time for that is when I watch anime when I eat, and that's just about it. And then contribution for me, I've quit my job to pursue this, so while that is kind of taking a hit from my finances because I'm living off my savings, it's the trade-off that I'm willing to make to really actualize this whole thing. And so going back to the whole concept of learning a new skill based on essentialism is that whenever you're learning a new skill or focusing on a new area of life, the amount of effort that you have to put in up here times the time that it takes is exponential at the start. But then once you get used to it, you no longer have to put in that much effort to maintain it. So around 2 months, putting in a bit of time each week, you start to develop proficiency for any skill. And once you develop a baseline for that proficiency, what happens is that the baseline, the effort that you need to keep that baseline there is so much lower. So what this means is that we can choose a season of our life where a lot of other things are being kept on maintenance, but we're just going to choose 1 to 3 things that we're going to really double down on and focus on without having to feel like we have to do everything at once, because self-development in general can be so overwhelming, especially if I think of consuming content from podcasters, which is not their fault because they're really helping us. But if we don't take the responsibility to filter out the stuff, the areas of life that are relevant to us that we need to improve, then we'll never be able to gain enough traction to make enough progress within any of those individual areas. And so, yeah, this is what essentialism looks like in life game design. And reading the book really helped me reinforce the importance of literally just taking time to figure out what is essential. One of the most boring and most key principles in the book. I always look for the boring stuff in books because they are always the most important. Is that taking the time to prepare what is important in your life is so much more efficient than trying to scramble and get everything done without thinking. This is something that I learned in my career as a chef, especially being younger than everyone else who was above me. I tried to hustle harder in order to outwork my senior chefs, and I never succeeded because they were quote unquote lazy. They had excellent standards, but they were very lazy, meaning that they were very efficient. So they never had to overwork to do simple things because the systems they implemented made sure that they didn't have to hustle on very meaningless tasks. And that's exactly the mistake that I made before I learned how to systemize my workflows and have structures and frameworks for everything that I did. I had no idea how much time and energy I was wasting because I didn't take the time to figure out what I actually needed to do in those situations. What else is a big highlight? Deep writing on the LGD fundamentals. So those, I didn't want to open that. Those posts that I showed you on my Instagram just earlier. Oh man. So I'm streaming on my laptop monitor. So all the inputs are like a little bit lagged when I move my mouse, so I have to be careful. Anyway, I'm making a video series of these 3 posts, which is the philosophy of life game design, the in-depth videos on the special attributes, and a tour of the Notion app that consolidates everything together. And I spent a hell of a lot of time just scripting out all of that stuff. And it really it went really well. It went amazing. Just because I took so much time to consolidate all my ideas the week before, especially in all the frameworks that I use. I've got one thing about me is that I literally have a framework for everything. I have frameworks for frameworks, because I very much struggle with not using frameworks to do things. It's kind of like a trade-off, I see. This is actually really cool. So I live in New Zealand, in Auckland, and there's a new, let's say, startup streaming platform. A creator called Liam who co-owns a startup streaming organization called Streaming NZ. Their goal is to kind of collaborate Kiwi streamers together and Kiwi content creators together to do what's similar to Twitch Rivals, and have it just based in New Zealand, where you've got a whole bunch of New Zealand creators battling out in games together. And they had this meetup at a karaoke night last night. Honestly, I don't like to go out late because I like to go to the gym early in the morning, and just staying up late kind of ruins that whole flow. But I was really glad because I met a guy called Pascal there. I met a guy called Ray. I met a dude called Oscar. Who else? Ray, Oscar. There was another Ray. A whole bunch of awesome dudes from the Kiwi streaming and content creating community. And it's the first time I've ever been to an event where I didn't know anyone. Like I literally, a lot of people asked me, oh, who do you know from here? Oh, who did you come with? And I was like, literally every time I was like, no one. I don't know anyone. I just wanted to connect with all of the content creators and streamers in New Zealand, and they were so friendly. They were super friendly. I just rocked up to people and then asked them what they do, what they're passionate about. And yeah, I just had so many good conversations. And I just really appreciated like having a space to commune with everyone who's like kind of like-minded and interested in these things. Super fun experience, and definitely very far out of my comfort zone. So I'm really proud that that happened. The second move, Car Convoy, I'm moving house to New Plymouth, down with my parents in December. Now it's November. So very soon, in about less than a month, I'll be heading out from my place in Auckland and down to New Plymouth. And honestly, I can't wait because it's so peaceful there. But at the same time, I am missing out on my friends who are in Auckland. But again, it's about essentialism. This is the season of my life where I really want to focus on bringing the concepts of life game design to people who needed it, just like I did so many years ago when I was so addicted to games and I was shamed for my game addiction, where I learned skills that I've applied now to my life that other self-development creators just literally can't understand the benefits of. So yeah, catch up with Thomas. He's a guy I've met online quite a while ago, and it's the first time we've had a catch up in a while. And he's on the same journey of self development, reading a lot of books, creating his own content as well. And yeah, we're just in a very similar frame of mind. And it's really nice to, even if it's online, just catch up with those kind of friends who do have to like grind out the same amount of work that you do, because this shit gets really lonely. And any form of pursuing a passion will get lonely by definition. So yeah, having people who are on the same journey as you, not necessarily exactly the same, but who are kind of in like the same boat as you, is just really nice and reassuring. So those were like the main like big project highlights for this week. So let me see the tasks and see if there's any like smaller wins, because I always celebrate the bigger milestones, but it's also important to understand the smaller things that add up as well. So this is where I look at my tasks board just to kind of see that. And actually, it's not here, but I just remembered from my week that I got Shortform, and that app is amazing. Shortform is a book summary service, just like Blinkist, if you've heard of that. And yeah, just going through the cornerstone books that I've made that list of is really going to help me really flesh out life game design in the special areas a lot more. I've only got like 7% of my battery, so I'm gonna have to make this quick, even though I love rambling on about my weekly reflection. Okay, what else was a big highlight? Meditation for Life Force, which is your mental health and spirituality. Meditation and keeping up with it has been major for me. Consistency. There we go. Meditation consistency. Just because I feel the difference so massively when I don't do it. It's like night and day. So what lessons did I learn from things that didn't go quite right? I'm gonna skip going through my notes because there wasn't much when I look at them before. There wasn't many podcast episodes that really impacted me this week. Modern Wisdom had Jim Quick on, but he is one of my favorite authors, but I don't know, for some reason in podcasts he just doesn't present the same. I don't know. Maybe it's me. But he's an amazing author. His book Limitless is a cornerstone book of intelligence because it teaches you to learn how to learn. What more could you ask for? So moving on, what lessons did I learn from things that didn't go quite right? Definitely losing sleep on the streamer night. I'm dealing with the consequences of that now. But at the same time, that's the cost of putting myself out of my comfort zone and doing that thing. So having one night of no sleep, honestly, I wouldn't even put that there, to be honest. That's a trade-off. It's not something that didn't go quite right. What's something that didn't go quite right? Um, oh yeah, when we were moving house, let me text to speech this. Ah, no, get out of here. So when we were moving house, oh, the text to speech isn't working because it's on my camera. Okay, whatever. When we were moving house, I got kind of sick from the allergies and the dust, and that really ruined my productivity. So I just had to go out all day because I literally couldn't breathe through my nose. It was so screwed up. And so I was like, you know what? Screw it. We're just gonna go for a walk and clear my nose, and it did. And I'm really glad that I didn't try to do work when I just didn't have the capacity for it, because that would have just demotivated me so much. Fuck, I've got 3% of my battery. Let's go, let's go. How well did I stick to my plan and so focused? I'm gonna say very well, even though moving took time. What inspired me this week? What inspired me this week? Probably The Creative Act. Oh my god, The Creative Act. Such a goated book. I definitely want to read that again. What was the number one thing that I need to accomplish this week? What am I saying? What is the number one thing I need to accomplish this next week? That is finishing my video on the life game design philosophy. And what specific learning do I need to do? Not learning, but I need to organize DaVinci Resolve, my editing software, resources, and key bindings. Oh, this is so tight. It got 2%. Let's go. 2% battery. We'll wrap this up. Okay. Was a task that I can do that will make next week less stressful. It's always time blocking. It's always time blocking, and Essentialism has really emphasized the importance of it, which is really nice to have that reinforcement of the protocols that I do within my day-to-day. Cool. What is on my not to-do list? What is on my not to-do list? Not be present. What am I going to replace this with? Taking more walks. Taking more walks makes me feel more present. What am I looking forward to for next week? I got 1%. Let's go. I'm looking forward to getting the video out and getting back to actually editing. Okay, and last one. What am I grateful for? I am grateful for the energy I get from doing this, literally. Because last night had really crap sleep, and yeah, now like literally after doing this, I feel so alive. 30 minutes on the timer, and just having that space and time to reflect on the whole week I've had just makes everything feel better. It makes it feel like I'm not just rushing towards something that I can't grasp. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Week 47. I'll see you guys next week at week 48. Let's go.